Good morning, everyone. Welcome at our new training of Merbon SCADA Advanced. My name is František Hilmar, and today I'll be your guide through this training. We're gonna take a closer look to Merbon SCADA functions. I'll show you some advanced functions, especially the configuration of the alarm server, the configuration of a user policy in a domain server, and if you have some time to kill, I can show you also something about the database. First of all, just please let me know if you can hear me well, if my microphone is working fine. Okay, so I assume it's working fine. I have a feedback from my colleagues, and I'll try to continue and show you everything about today's topics. Okay, I'll start with the alarm server installation, but first of all I'll show you in what state are we from the last stream. Okay, in the Merbon SCADA basics we finished at this state. We have installed the Merbon SCADA server and the Merbon domain server. So these two are mandatory parts of the Merbon SCADA installation. So you need to have these two for a SCADA server running. The other parts are available. They are not mandatory. Are only optional, okay? Okay, I have a feedback that there is some problem with the sound, so I'll try to fix it. So just a minute, please. Okay, I try to okay, I switched the port of the mic, so I'll try it now if it's working better or not. Just please let me know if it's working fine or not. And I also see feedback from YouTube that there is some connection problem. So we'll see. I hope it's working fine. You don't have any problems with sound. Okay, now it looks better. So please just let me know if it's working, if you can hear me well, or if it's too silent. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Thanks. Okay, so I'll just continue with today's topics. So as I said before, the state that we have now, it's from the last training of Merbon SCADA Basics. We already installed the Merbon SCADA server. We configure the server on the localhost address, so we can log in and we can see the running project. Okay, it's communicating. It's communicating with my Windows runtime, Merbon runtime. Okay, the virtual PLC, it's running there, and it's communicating with Merbon SCADA. And I also installed the domain server. Okay, so it's this one. And I can browse it on the localhost port 9696, and I can see my user policy that it's already set there. Okay, right now I didn't make any user changes, so the user policy that it's here now are only the default one. Okay, so you can see there are some groups and users. Okay, so this is the state that we are in now. And right now I will try to set, to install the alarm server and to configure it to make it work. Okay, first of all, what functions does Merbon alarm server has? I think the most important ones are the alarm history. So if you like to see some better alarm history with also like user actions included, it means when the alarm happens and somebody acknowledge it or reset it, you'll see it in the history, and you'll see all the states of the alarms. Okay, so this is for alarm history saving. This is main function, and it also provides you an option to include Merbon messaging. So if you would like to send some the alarm email or text to the cell phone, you need to first configure the alarm server, and then you can configure the messaging. Okay, so we will start with a Merbon alarm server installation. It's pretty similar to Merbon SCADA server. You need a license number or code, let's say, it's better, because it also has letters inside it, so it's more of like code. Okay, I'll just check my code. And the important thing is that the alarm server, despite it has its own license, it is not you don't have to pay for it. It's included in the basic SCADA server license. So in case you bought Merbon SCADA server license, you get Merbon Alarm server license for free. You can use it and you don't have to use it if you don't need it, but you have it included in the Merbon SCADA server license. Okay, so I'll just create the activation request. Okay, so I need this. And then I'll activate the license on the website, licenses.domat.com. CZ. Okay. I'll just I'll just find my here. Okay, I forget it where I put the code. Maybe it's there. Yeah, here. I can see that the Merbon Alarm server license starts with MBALS. That's how I know it's for the alarm server, not for the Merbon SCADA server or the other services. Okay, so I'll just put it here and click next. I'll just fill my email, click next, and I'll receive a link to download the actual license file. Okay. Okay, so I received the email, an email. You see, it looks like that. It's from noreply@domat.com. If you experience some problems with email receiving, you may have some strong anti-spam filter or something. You just check the bin or the spam or something. It's possible that it goes there, so first make sure that it is not in the other these parts of your email. And after that, if you still have a problem with it, you can let us know and we'll try to help you. Okay, so I have this site and I'll download the activated license file. Okay, so I'll just click here, put the license in. Okay, now it's working. And I can start the installation. Okay, I'll get back to the installation part. And okay, I'm done here. So I can see that Merbon Alarm server is installed. It's running on the port 8511. And it includes more services. There are actually 3 of them. First, it's a Merbon Alarm server service. Then it's Merbon messaging service. And the Merbon domain server bridge. Okay, this is a bridge for communication with domain server. Okay, so that's it for the alarm server services. You can also see them in this app from Microsoft. You can see that there is messaging, we have an alarm server, and we have a bridge here. So these three are included in the Merbon's alarm server installation. Okay, so I'll start with settings in project. Right now we have some alarms in our project from the last stream. I'll just switch the language here. Sorry, I'll just switch it to English for you. Okay, and now I'll show you how to export the data points, the alarm points to the alarm server. As I said in the previous training, the alarm server is the service itself. It's separate from the Merbon SCADA server. So in case you didn't put any alarms in it, it's not working. You first have to export the alarms in the project. How it works? Okay, first you have to open the project. So we'll open the project from the last stream. We have two alarms here. Okay, these two alarm points. And we will export them to our alarm server. Okay, first we have to check if alarms are connected properly. So in case you don't know how to do it, I'll just show it to you real quick. Okay, I'll just unlock the edit mode and I'll show it to you here. So in case you have a project in Merbon IDE and you used the function block, okay, the function block for the alarm point, you have to use three points, three variables. You have to connect three variables to the data point of the alarm here. Okay. First one is alarm status. It's the state of the alarm. Then it's input for acknowledging the alarm. And the last one is the input for resetting of the alarm. So you need to have these two optional. Okay, you see it here. Okay, this is for acknowledging and this is for resetting. So these two buttons. So for these buttons you need these two inputs. Okay, I'll just show it to you in the project of Merbon IDE. Okay, I'll just show how does it look. How does it look like? Here we have our project, and you can see that we have here the function block, single alarm memory, and there is a second alarm which is running where? Here. Okay, so you have these two alarm blocks, and you have to connect the status, which is this, and then the reset and acknowledge. Okay, I'll close it. We don't need it anymore. And you have to connect these three. It may look kind of difficult connecting of these 3 points, but it's kind of automatized for you, so it's not that hard. I'll show it to you in the example. You just create one alarm by yourself, connect these 3 points from the vlist file from your project. Okay, so I'll just go to navigate to my project here. Okay, so here I'm in the project folder. I just open the bin and the vlist file here, and I can see that here this is the function block that I used in the Merbon IDE, the alarm function block, and here is the variable alarm status. So I'll use this variable for this input, then I use this variable. Okay, this is for acknowledging, software acknowledge. So I use this one. You can see this is a status, and here I use this one. Okay, and the last one is here. Okay, it's here. So this is the alarm function block. This is the input. Okay. I'll just make one of them manually, and then I use T key for selecting this point. Then I can click here. Okay, import. I can just find all the alarm status variables. I can use another alarm point here. Okay, for example this one, and I will select to import as selected. So it will use the settings of this data point, and it will connect me to the alarm status and the other variables automatically. Okay, so I'll just click here, click import, and I have here the alarm, which is connected to completely different, okay, it's different function block, and all 3 variables are connected. So I just need to find the LR status variable, and the others are automatically created, and the rest of the alarm. Okay, so that's for the alarm in the RCWare. Okay, so I just delete it. I'll continue. Okay, so now to the alarm setting. First of all, we need to make a global settings of an alarm server. So I click here, settings, PC resources, and I click on alarms report. I'll check this option, use alarm server, and here I have to put the address of alarm server. So the address is localhost, because it's running on my computer now. The port is 8511, and I need the user that will communicate it. I will use this user to configure the alarm server. So I have to go to the domain server. So it's localhost 9696. Okay, I fill the domain admin and its password from the previous stream from the SCADA server installation, and I'll edit the user policy here. Here I will create a user. So it's this button, create user, and I just fill, for example, the alarm, and the password. I can use the password. Oh, it doesn't matter really. From the previous. Okay, the same as the domain admin can be. Okay, I'll just get create, and the user is here. Normally, how the user policy works here. I'm not sure if I showed you some basics of the user policy here. So normally you use just, if you are not have any further requirements for your user policy, you can use the default groups and users. And groups that are used for SCADA server user rights are the all users group and the SCADA admins group. If you put a user in a SCADA admins group, like this, he will receive rights to see all the projects you have on this installation and to also right to edit these projects, okay, to edit the variables, to acknowledge alarms and everything. If you will add the user to all users group, he'll have rights for all projects also, but only for read. So it's read-only user access to all projects that are installed, implemented in your installation. So these two groups are default ones and you can use them. And in that case, you just have to create the users and put them in the groups. Okay, you do it if you click on a user, you choose the group here, you click add and save. And that's it. Now the user has rights. You can check it in the groups list. You can see that the user is now in the group. Okay, right now we need a user to administrate the alarm points. So I'll click the alarm user and I put him in the alarm administrators, okay, alarm server administrators group, and this provide me rights for accessing the alarm server, to download the alarms and to input the alarms in the alarm server, to upload them. So I just put him here. Okay, I'll click OK. And now we will see how it will work. Okay, so I'll put this user here, this password, and I'll check these three options: send commands, send changes, read changes. This is important because right now I'll be able to administrate the alarm server through this user. Okay, I click use parameters, I click OK, and now I have to restart the RCWare Vision. Okay, so I'll click OK. As the pop-up said to us that we need to restart it to include new changes that we made. Okay, this settings is for the whole installation. So right now, all the projects that are exported from this installation, they include this alarm settings, okay? So in case you are, for example, exporting the projects from your computer and then you uploading them to another computer where the SCADA is running, you just have to make sure that you have the right settings of these of the alarm server if you are using alarm server there, because in case you have a different setting in your RCWare installation, the project will include the wrong configuration in its configuration files. Okay, so it's better to make sure you have a good settings, or there is an option that you can install the RCWare on the computer where you are running the SCADA, and you just put there the RCWare projects and you export it on the same computer as where its SCADA is running, and then you can keep the settings there. Okay, so I just have to open the project. So I'll just open this project and I'll unlock the edit mode and I click here edit. Okay, and I will choose this option, backup parameters of selected data points. So I use this option and I'll see, okay, now is this project that I'm exporting from, and I will click on this alarm server export. In case, I will check the all stations option here. The alarms from all projects from my RCWare installation will be exported in the alarm server. So normally it's not a good option, only in the case that you have only projects that you are running on SCADA, then you can use this to make it easier for you to export all the alarms. Okay, so right now I'll uncheck it, but it doesn't matter. I'm only running one project on this installation, so it's the same. So I'll click alarm server export. Because I already fill the username and password in my global settings, it's now here. In case I won't do this option, I'll have to fill it automatically, okay? Oh no, automatically manually. I'll have to fill it manually. So right now I will download the configuration that it's right now in this alarm server. And I can see that there is no configuration right now. This is a good state because I just installed the alarm server. So in this case, I'll need to create a new subnode for import because I have no folders, and you always have to make a folder first and then you export the project here. But you can do it in one operation if you click here and click create new subnode for import. Okay, so I click here and I will create a subnode. Its name will be demo, and I'll just import and merge the configuration. Uploading. I can see this structure. The structure is exported from the project, so you'll see this is a name of a group where the alarms are. Here is the name of the technological group, and this is the name of project. So this stays with alarms. It only okay. So this is easier for me. Okay, so right now the server, the configuration is uploaded, the alarms, and this is all for RCWare. It's everything you need to know here from the RCWare. In case you are exporting, you made some changes, you add some new alarms to your alarm server, you just click here, do the same operation as before. Okay, load the configuration, you'll see the existing configuration. And you just have to, right now you just click here, okay? Or you can create a completely new folder. And in case you're just exporting the same projects as before, you just click on the folder that you created in the first step. Okay, you can click here, keep existing items in selected node, and you can click import and merge. Right now you'll see that there is no change here. If I'll uncheck this option and I click here, you'll see I have double alarms here. Okay, not here, but okay, if I, for example, click on this page, I think I'll see more Okay, you see. I exported more alarms here. Okay. Okay, I'll not save the configuration here because I don't want to save these changes. So I keep it like this. And I'll continue. Okay, right now, because the alarm server part is the oldest one from whole SCADA, so it's not have the web page for its administration. It has an application. So first you have to open the installation place where you installed the Merbon alarm server. If you install it in the default settings, you will have to check it on the apps Merbon alarm server, Merbon alarm server, and the folder editor here. Here we just open this alarm server editor, and you click here download. Okay, if you have English on your computer, this will be in English, so don't worry. This will be in English if you will do it. Okay, I'll try it myself. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'll just close this and okay, I'll just put this out of the folder. Okay, I'll try it now. It should run in English. Okay, now it's in English. So I click on download. I have to fill here the addresses that I use. In case you open it for the first time, these fields will be empty. So you just open our manual. Okay, you just open the manual here. You can use the English implementation here. Okay, this is the implementation guide. Put exactly these addresses if you are on the same place where is alarm installed. And to make it easier for you, so you have to, okay, sorry. So you don't have to rewrite it. You can just copy it from here, okay? So to exact the same, I put in his password. And here I'll use this user. Its name, its default user. It's for communicating with domain server. And you just put here admin username and the password the same as the domain admin that you put while installing these, both of them, let's say. Okay, now I have everything in the alarm server. I just have to I can see that all the alarms are there. I just have to change user policy for administration of alarms. I'll click left here. I'll click properties. Okay, I have to click on the project. Okay, it's here, project. Properties, permissions, and here I'll click add. And this will show me, it's online. It will show me all the users and groups from the domain server. I'll choose the alarm server administrators. I'll click OK, and I will allow all the user rights for this group. So now this group will be able to administrate all the alarm points here. Okay, and because now I made the changes, it's work similar as in RCWare, so I made some changes and I need to upload it to alarm server once more. So now it's uploaded. I can check it when I download it again and see if my property stays. Okay. The group is here, so it works. Okay, so this is for the editor. I think it looks kind of difficult, maybe, because it's another application, but I have to mention that you only make this when you are first making the installation. After the configuration is done once, then you don't have to do anything more about it. You don't have to go again in the editor. You only have to go to RCWare to add more alarm points if needed, or only to SCADA server. So then you just do it once when you're installing the, you configure it, and now it's done. Then it's done. Okay, we need one more thing, because we changed the configuration of the projects here. Okay, we changed this. And we need to export the project to SCADA server with this changed settings of alarm server. So I'll just export it, export this project. Okay. So I exported the project. I will see it here in the Vision data. And I'll just take this. This is a GUI ID of the project. You can see here, station GUI ID. I'll just take this and I'll put it here. Now I'll just restart the server. And we can check it here if the server is running. When I click here on start, it's communicating with SCADA server, and when it's when I see this, not the question marks, but the these icons, I will see during all stream I received messages from YouTube that I have some dropped frames and I don't have a good quality of connection here. So I hope it's not affected so much. I don't know why it's working, why it's not working fine. Normally it's working from this place, so I'm not sure, but I hope it's not that bad. Okay. Okay, so just a minute, I'll just check my network. Okay, so network from my computer looks fine, so it looks like a network problem, general problem, not something that I could fix. So how about it working fine for you? Because it's stable. From my perspective, it's stable. So it should be somewhere on network. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I just export a server, export a project, and upload it. And now I'll see I'll just see the project here, and if everything is fine, I go here, active alarms, and I'll see here that there is history appeared. Okay, right now there is a history. So this is how history looks. So in case you done every step right and correct, you after the login, you'll see a history here. You can also see a history in this part, okay, here. But this is a better, I think, better view of alarms because you will see all the life of the alarm. It starts with active and then goes to all states. So I'll show it to you here. I'll just change some numbers here because I set the alarm to be active when the required temperature is lower than the temperature in the house. So right now I can reset the alarm. And I can, for example, acknowledge this one also, because this one is opposite. So it will always be active. When this is okay, this will be active, and the opposite. Okay. So now I will reload my history, and I will see that the alarm was active, then it was in memory, and then the domain admin, which is this user, reset it. Okay. Now this alarm was acknowledged, so I'll see the domain admin acknowledge it, and here is also the acknowledged time, and you will see the time here also. I think this is great to see when the actions happened, because you see, okay, it was active in 9:47, then it was in memory 9:51, and then it was resetted after 10 seconds after it was in memory. Okay, I will just check these names of the alarms because I see it's in Czech. I'll try to, if you don't know how to make it in English, you just click here, okay, during export, set alarm masks. And here you will see in the, okay, this is SCADA converter, resources. This is in RCWare, okay, so you'll see RCWare, utilities, SCADA converter, resources, and here, alarm constants, English. And if I will just upload it directly, it should change the names of the alarms. I'll just see if it's working or not. Okay, let me see. We'll just check it here. Maybe I'll have to also delete the cache memory. Okay, so once more, I'll just delete the current values. Okay. Okay, now it should work fine. Okay, and you can see that there is normal and active acknowledge. So now it's in English properly, and it should be in English also here. Okay, so here it's not quite sure. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, so this is how it works. Now this is how the alarm history works. And when you are okay with the alarm history, you can continue and create a messaging. So now I will show you some basics from automatic state. Okay. So here I will create a configuration. So I click here on the new configuration, and I will create a new configuration file. It will create me these three sections. And right now the best thing to do is to save the configuration to server. To save this thing is messaging client, and this user will be used for the messages sending from your computer. But you have to fill this exact name because it's in the configuration, so you have to fill it here. Okay, so this is the most important part in this configuration. So you fill this exact name, messaging underline client, and you click OK. Okay, I'll just create a channel here. Now I will show to you the email messaging. So I will create an SMTP server. And the SMTP settings depends on your email server that you use. In this case, I'll show it to you my test email that I use. It's created on gmail.com. So we will use the smtp.gmail.com. So this is the existing email site. And you have to fill the port for definitely not. Okay, so I'll just open the stream myself. And I'll just try to see if it's working or not. Okay. So I will use these settings. It's provided by Gmail, by Google, and I use my email site that I use. Here I have to fill the sender, so it's the address, the email address. I believe it's like this. And I'll just copy this to user. And I'll fill the password. Okay, this is the password. Okay, this is for the SMTP settings. So first of all, you have to of the channel, and then you can create the connection to Alarm server. It's done here in the bindings. Okay, so I'll just click add bindings to Alarm server, and because I already saved the configuration, I can see here my folder. Okay, so I'll just click here, demo. And here I can see my alarm points. There is more options how to connect to the right alarm point. You can either choose exact alarm point here, or you can choose the whole group. This is what is great about the groups that you create already in RCWare. So you can, for example, make one message for all group of alarms, and in case any of the alarms occur, the message will be sent. Okay, so in my option, I will choose the group here. Click OK. There is just a unique ID needed. So if it's not necessary for you to make it somehow readable, you just click these three dots and it will be automatically created for you. And right now you have two options. For one option is to add the reaction just above the alarm server or alarm connection, or you can create a reference and then you can create a reaction here. The difference between these two approaches is that when you create the reference, you can reference the same message from multiple bindings. If you create it just above, you have to do it again with another alarm point. But okay, so I'll click Add Sequential Reaction. And here I just have to make some settings. In case you want to use like basic settings, which means the alarm will come only, or the message will come only when the alarm is active. And then when you acknowledge the alarm and it will happen again, it will send you another message. And that's the only, that's the behavior which you wish to, and it's like most typical behavior. You just click here to active bit. So it means when the alarm is active, it will send you an alarm. And here, when alarm is acknowledged, it will reset you the message bit. In case you want to know when the alarm is okay, you can, for example, set it here. But in our case, we don't need it. So we click Don't Care. So right now, the message will come when the alarm is active. And when we acknowledge the alarm and it will happen again, the alarm will be sent again. So very important thing is here, restart on trigger change. When I click this option, the alarm will be always restored after the state would change. Okay, so when the state would change, alarm will be restarted and will be sent it again if another alarm from the group occurs. A repeat count, I'll add just one here because I want to send just one message. And now I can proceed for the message itself. So in case you want to make some more difficult, more complicated settings, you can do it here. But if you're just interested in normal messaging, you can use exactly these settings that I'm showing to you right now. It's also included in the manual. Okay, here I will add reaction, send mail, because I want to send a mail. And here I have to choose the channel, so I'll just put some name here. Okay, so it will be Gmail. And I will choose the channel here. So right now this message will be sent when this alarm will occur. And it will be sent through this user from this email site through this SMTP channel. So the last part is we have to create the body of email. So in case you check the use default, Okay, I see that there is still a network problem, so I will wait when I see that the frames are dropping to make sure that we don't miss any part of the stream. Okay, so we can basically you can write here anything you want. The message that will be sent after the alarm will occur. Good. Okay, so I'll just write so, hello. There is an alarm. Okay, so you can either write anything you want. If you do it like this, the exact message will come after after the alarm will occur. In case you want to create a dynamic template, you can use these. Okay, there is help, so it will show you what the function is. Okay, so these are dynamics, let's say variables. I think that's the best name for it. And these variables are dynamic, depends on what alarm happens, they change. So I'll just show it to you brief introduction. So here, for example, this is for showing the name of the alarm. So here, this is the name of the alarm point. You can see it here. This is a name from RCWare, and it's shown here. So it depends what alarm will happen. This alarm will be shown here. So I can just write, for example, alarm this, and then we can, for example, add timestamp. Timestamp is okay. Timestamp. There will be the exact time of alarm, and then, for example, we can also add the state. Okay, so there is a state. We can add a state here. State unknown. And there is more of them. You can check it for yourself. I think I want to do some more sophisticated introduction of these functions. It depends on your on the way how you want to use it. I'll just show you some default basic ones. So, for example, you can do it like this. And so, in case you connect not the exact alarm but the group, this is great because it will always show you the name of the alarm, so you can see what kind of alarm happened, and you don't have to create multiple messages for every alarm. If the name of the alarm is enough for you, you can do it like this. So you can have multiple alarms messages just with one configuration. In case you need more alarm points and you have some specific names for every alarm, specific messages, you just can use copy here. It's normal Windows Control-C, Control-V, and sorry, and you just paste it, and you just change the ID here. Okay, and you have the same alarm. So you just, for example, can just change the connection. Okay. Or just the message template and everything else stays. So this is how you can create alarms kind of in a short period of time. This is some tips for you, okay? Okay. So now I have everything it's done. and I have to save my configuration to server. So I click Save As, save configuration to server, and I will use this user, and I click OK. Okay, now it's saved, so I'll just check it. I click Open Existing, Download Configuration. Okay, this is important, this name. It says after you create it once, it says, but it's important that you use exactly this one. Okay, messaging client. Okay, I can see my configuration and it's there, so it should work fine. Okay, right now we can make a test. But we forget one thing, or I forget one thing. I forget one thing, and it's the recipient. So right now it's all done, but there is no recipient of an email. So I put here my email. Okay, this is my business email. I put it here. And okay, there is two options how to do this. You can either write a direct recipient, or you can choose a group or a user from domain server. I haven't shown it to you before, but during the user creation or even after it, okay, there's some wrong token. Even after it, you can you can choose the user and fill the email of an user here or phone. Then you are able to use it just by its email. Okay, so if I save it here, now I can just choose the user here. It will send me an email to this user. Or, which is even better maybe, I can choose the group, and all the users from this group, if they have the email filled in domain server, will receive the message. So this is two ways how to do this. Okay, and you can see it here that there is the alarm user. Okay, I will just I'll just check this here. Yeah, and I will remove this one to don't receive the email twice. I just leave the direct recipient. I'll save the changes to server, and we can try if it's working or not. So I'll just go here. I'll visit my SCADA, and I will try to activate the email, the alarm. Okay, now alarm happened, and let me see. It will take time. See, I'm not sure if I done everything correctly, so we will see if email is received or not. Okay, this is just for license activation. Okay, I'm not receiving the mail, so I'll just check. I will do some troubleshooting here. So I'll check here. Okay, I see here in Merbon messaging that there is no messages.txt file, which is log of all messages that were sent. So this means that the alarm wasn't detected. Okay, so alarm wasn't even detected. It doesn't mean there is a network problem, but there is a settings problem of the alarm detection. So I'll just try to check it in the editor. If here it's okay, it seems fine. It seems fine here, so I'll just try, I'll just try to restart the messaging service or alarm server even, just to make sure that everything is working fine. Okay. We can restart it on SCADA just to make sure that there is no communication problem. And now I'll try to, okay, I'll just try to activate it again. Okay, just let me see. You can check it here. Okay, there is still no messages, so I'll just try to, okay, I'll just try exact alarm for the first time. Just to be sure that everything is fine, I'll reset it. And I'll just activate it once more. Okay, there is still no message, so I'll just check if there is not any problem in the... I see in log, I see some problem with the path. So I'll just try to create it, just to be sure, to create it once more. So I'll just create it on here. Okay, just very fast. I'll create the... Okay, I can close this. Okay. Oh, okay, just be sure. Okay. Okay, so I'll just try it here. Sorry, should be mail here. Okay. Okay. We'll try it once more. Not sure if there was some bad communication, maybe. Okay, now it's active, so I'll just have to reset the alarm. Okay. And I'll try to do it once more. Okay, I'll just check it first here, if it's okay or not. And there is some problem. Not quite sure where exactly. Yeah, this should be on this side. Okay, so this connection, maybe it's not right. Web side, it should be okay. On trigger, it should be okay also. Dial, no. It should be fine. Should be fine. Because the alarm is not even created. Okay, so I know that the problem is in the RCWare settings or the Merbon alarm setting. It's not in the networking now. Because it would be in the networking, it would show me the alarm, but there will be a problem with sending. Okay, I will have here a messages.txt file, but there will be mentioned the problem with sending. So right now it's not about the sending, it's about some problem with alarm detection. So it looks like this, it's not detecting my alarms, but it looks fine. It looks quite fine. Okay, I'll just try, just to be sure, I'll just try to re-export the alarms here. Okay, I'll try to add in the different tree part. Okay, here. Support it. Okay. I'll just put here the properties also. Okay, you will see it once more. Maybe it's better for... Okay, so we just do this, okay. And then we start the messaging. Okay. Okay. Okay, no, not this one. Undo. Save. Server. Okay, this should be fine. Don't see any problem here. It should be here in the binding maybe. So that's why I'm just trying to create another 3-part, just to be sure it's working. Okay. Okay, just once more. I'll just try it once more because I'm not quite sure where the problem is exactly. Why it's not working now? Okay, I can't reset it. So I'll just try it once more. And we'll see what will happen. Okay, the alarm is active, but I'm not sure about the email. No, it's still not here. There is some problem in settings that I'm not, and I can see it now. I'm not sure why. Because you already did this, I think 2 weeks ago in Czech language, and I have no problem there. I had no problem there. So I'm not sure where is the problem now. So I don't see what I'm missing. I don't see what I'm missing here. Okay, just a minute. I'll check it. Just a moment, I'll check it. Where will be the problem? Okay, I'll just check everything to be sure that I have it right. It seems fine. Seems also fine. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not quite sure. I think all my settings are done just fine. So I don't know where is problem now. Okay, just to be 100% sure, I'll just try one thing. I'll just put here to check if there is not some problem, because the settings is a little bit different. It's in a different parts when I started in Czech language. So just to be 100% sure, I'll try to see this in the, okay, to see it here. No, it looks fine, really. I don't see any problem here. Okay. Okay, so I'm not quite sure why there is a problem, because all my settings are done well. I'll try to manage this. We'll continue now, because it looks that I have some unexpected error, because I already tested all the alarms and the new version of Merbon SCADA. So maybe there is some problem in my computer exactly. So there could be, yeah, there could be some problem in the export, because yeah, maybe I used the, yeah, I used the newer version of the RCWare Vision. So maybe this could be the problem. It just came to my mind right now. So I will continue, and during the time, during the stream, I'll try to uninstall the newest version of RCWare, and I will reinstall it with the older version and try to export and do everything again, just to be sure that I done it right and it's not by the version. Maybe it's because of the new version. Okay, so I'll just try. Okay, I stop it here, and I will show to you. The next part, which will be about the user policy. Okay, so I'll just start uninstalling. So just the moment. Okay, I have to close it first. Okay. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so never mind. I need the RCWare now for a user policy also. So I'll try to show you everything about user policy, and then if we have some time, still I will try to go back to messaging and show it to you the exact response, the email. Because right now this settings is fine, so don't worry. If you use this setting, it should work fine on your computer. On my computer, it's not working because I have maybe some problem with a newer version of RCWare and the older version of SCADA, because I'm testing it, so I sometimes have some not usual settings on my computer, so maybe that's the case. But the settings that I showed to you, it should be the same in your case. Okay, so I'll continue with user policy now. And I'll show it to you. So, okay, I already talked about the basic user policy. So normally, if you are not interested in some complicated user policy, you can use only all users and SCADA admins group. And then you can create all users that you want and add them to your groups. So this group, as I said before, it's a read-only group for all projects in your SCADA server. And this group is edit its full user rights for all projects. So in case you are not have any other, you don't have to create some complicated user policy, you can use these two groups and you are okay. In case that you have multiple projects and you want to create groups for every project, so you want to separate the users, so each user can see only one project, only the project he owns or he has to manage, you can use our automatic groups that are created in the export dialog. So when you click export, here you have these three groups: control, alarm operation, read only. Okay, the group name will be always the group name will be always the project name. So in our case, it's Merbon _SCADA _demo, and then the name of the group. You can create your own name here. So for example, I will use the control. This is service, and this is read. Okay, so when I click here, set project access user rights, and I will check all these three options, it will create me these three groups in the project files. So then when I will create the group with this name in the domain server and I will add the user in this group, he will see all information about this project. So I'll just try it. Okay, I'll just try it now here. Just check it and export it. So I just export it. I changed the definition here, so I need to export it. I need to copy not only the project but also a configuration. So I will use these two. I will stop the SCADA. I'll go back. Okay, no, I need these two. Sorry, from export. I will delete these two. I'll add the project here. And I'll start the SCADA again. Okay. Now when I'll check the export files, I'll just show to you where the user policy happens in configuration. So where is it included? So is this projects.config file, and you can see that now there is my groups Merbon SCADA demo. Okay, just to introduce you a little bit more about the configuration file. In the first part there is a projects part, Here you have a list of all projects that are running in your SCADA server. There is always a GUID of the project, then there is a name of project, and the variable for the project if you want to mention the project in the code. These two options are also important, latitude and longitude. You will edit these two when you want to create a map, the map for your projects. So you can use these two. I will show it to you later how it works. Okay, so here you have SCADA admins group. This is default group. It's always included. All users group, and here is your user groups. Service read. How this works? Okay, normally it works that all the rights which this group has are mentioned in the items section here. The rights are named after its purpose. So the view means that you can see the technological themes. In chart view means that you can see the charts. View in generic text view means that you can read the table view. It means this table. So it's these three icons. In case you don't include this option here, the user won't see this icon at all. So he won't be able to see the table, or he won't be able to see the themes or the charts. Okay, so I'll just click here. For example, I can write here false for the, no, not for control. Okay, here is read. Okay, for example, service. I will put here false. So the users in groups Merbon SCADA demo service won't be able to see table view in generic text view. So I just copy the name, put it here. And I can create some user for this group. Okay. Oh, sorry, add, save. Okay, great. So now we will see if it's working or not. Okay, so I see the project. But I changed it here, but I didn't save it, and I have to also restart the SCADA. So the changes will be online. Okay, so now when I press, oh no, sorry, this is domain admin. I'll just go back. And I can see that the icon disappeared. So now the user has only rights to see the themes and the charts. And it's read only, so I cannot change the temperatures. I cannot acknowledge, no, I can acknowledge the arms, but I cannot reset them. I cannot change anything here, or here I cannot save it. I can only view the table, the time programs. I cannot change them. So this is how it works. Okay, so this is for the changing of the default groups. There is some default settings for these groups. So the Merbon SCADA control, it means you see this project, Merbon SCADA demo, and you have full control. if you have a service, you are only read-only, and the read is the same. So you can manage it here if you want to change it. So full control, it's demo control, and demo service means it's read-only for exact project. So that's basically the difference here. Okay, so this is the second layer of user policy rights. So here it's not that, I think, difficult, because you just check all the groups you want and then you create them in domain server and add users. And that's all. When you want to have rights for all the project, not the exact themes or exact data points, you're fine with this. In case you want some more specific, more complicated settings, for example, you only want to show one theme to one user, then you have to manage this in RCWare. So you go here, and first of all you have to create the user. So you go settings, user definition, and new user. I can name him a user because I already have it, and I will just, it doesn't matter, the password doesn't matter because it's not exported in the domain server. So you only need the name, the correct name. Okay, here I can check his functions, his rights. So if I click user, he has user rights for all the data point groups. The data point groups can be changed while, okay, so I click use parameters. Okay. And the user group, you can see the groups here. It's this column, GR group, and it's here, DP rights group. So you can see that this point, for example, it's in a different group than the others. So in case when I, for example, change this user to see only group 1, you won't be able to see this group 2. Okay, so I'll just try to do this. So I go here, I'll find the user, and I will uncheck. Okay, so here you can see 3 data points group, only these 2 users can see it. And here is also user. This glasses means that it's read, and this button means it's edit. Okay, so now he won't be able to see this data point. Okay. And right now, I will show it to you how to, if you want to show him, for example, only one theme, you go here, running mode, anywhere in the project, running mode, but you have to be in edit mode, then access policy edit, and here you can choose the user and allow him to see the theme. So now I will not allow him to see this theme, so he won't be able to see the theme in the project. I save these settings, and now I have to save it. Okay, and export this to SCADA. Okay, I only need to export it here. Okay. Okay, and we will see it. Here I can show it to you here that he will be included in configuration files, but maybe not here because he has no rights for themes, so he won't be here. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, fine. You can see all these groups are here, but there is no user, so he won't be able to see this. Sorry, to see this seam. But he should be able to see the data points. But when you check the behaviors here, not the behaviors, the projects here, you will see that there is no user here. Okay, there is just group, 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 and no user. So in case we want to make this working, we have to copy the projects to our SCADA here. Okay, I'll just stop it, delete it, put it back. And I have to also create the user here in the config projects config file, because it's not done automatically with the export. Okay, so I need him here on the same layer as these groups. So I just click here. Okay. Okay, permission assignment. Because I want him to see all the buttons, but then I have some other options for him. So his type is user. His name is user. I hope it's because it's case sensitive, so I hope I put it right. It's just user, fine. So I add user, and he can have these options. There's no problem with him to edit. Okay, so it's true, and it should work. Okay, so I'll close it, save it, and run it again. Okay, so now I will just find the user and delete him from this group. So he won't have the group rights, but he has only his user rights. You know, because we created the new assignment here. But it wasn't group, it was the user type, user, his name, and all the rights we copied from this part. Okay, maybe there is a problem. I just have to delete these definitions. Okay, fine. Okay, so it's working, but I need a user. So let me see. He's not able to see the seams. Even he has the rights to see them because he has any rights for any seam. So he can't see the seams, and he wouldn't be able to see the required temperature here. You see here is cooling, and here there should be another data point, but it's not there because he has no rights to see it. So this is how you do the user policy for exact user. And this was the most complicated part of it. So you first have to create it. Here, user definition. Okay, in case of data points, you do it here. In case of seams, you do it here. Okay, so this is important parts. Then you will export it. And then you will create a user in your configuration file here. just by copying, for example, this group, this permission assignment, and just rewriting the type and the name, and adjust the rights for him. So that's it. This was the most complicated part. What user policy, there is, like, as you can see, there is a very wide variety of options for you, but it depends how difficult is your user policy, how complicated it is, then it's complicated to create it. When it's only easy, it's very fast to do it. You just can use our default groups. When you have to do it for exact projects, so you have to use these groups. And in case of any further problems, you just have to create a user here. In case of user policy, it's always good to have a good definition before you start creating. So you make sure that the customer writes you all the propositions you want to include in user policy, and then you will create it in the perspective of the whole user policy. It's always easier. Okay, so this was for user policy. I'll just make a quick, like, half-minute break. In case you have any questions, you can write it in chat, and then we continue with the database. Okay, so I think we can continue with database. First of all, I will show you the installation. Okay, I'll just close these things here. Okay, I just came to my mind one thing. It is working fine. I'll just try one more export for the messaging, but I will continue with database. Okay, so if you want to install the database, it's very similar to other parts of the SCADA. It's very similar. You just click installation, find installation, and then the database. Maybe you saw that there is also a database adapter, and well, it depends how you use the database. There are two approaches. Okay, there are two approaches, and one of them is that you save the data to database directly from PLCs, and in that case you need a database adapter, and or you can read the data by SCADA from PLCs, and then you can put them in the database. It's two kind of approaches. It has its advantages and disadvantages. The advantage of the direct write from PLC maybe I will show it to you on a little seam here. Okay, here. Oh, it's in Czech, but I need just the technological seam here. That's international. And okay, this is one approach, this is the other approach. In kind of this approach, when the PLCs are directly sending data to database, the main advantage of this approach is that a PLC has its own memory, and the PLCs are active in this kind of in this state, so they know when they cannot reach the database. So, for example, when some network problem occurred, the PLC would see, okay, I'm not able to reach the database. I have to store the values, and I will wait when the database is online again, and then I will add all the values there. So in case you have some free internal memory in PLC, the PLC will save the data in its internal memory, and after the network is okay again, it will send the old data points from this period of some connection problem. It will send to database after the network is okay again, after the connection is restored. So the main advantage is you don't lose the data when there is some short period with network connection problem. You won't lose the data because PLC knows, okay, I cannot reach the database. I have to wait till the database is online again. Till that time, I will store the values in my internal memory. That's the main advantage. The disadvantage is that you have to do these settings in the project, in the exact IDE, Merbon IDE project in the PLC. So that's the main problem. So it's not when you already created some definition and you have a running project and you want to add a SCADA to it, then it's hard to, because you have to do the changes in the projects in the PLCs and you have to upload it. Okay, so sometimes it's not very easy to do this. Okay, I'll just show you to how to do it. So I'll just navigate to my here to my project. I'll show you to how to do it. Okay, so first thing you have to do when you want to save history directly from PLCs to database, you have to change the project from a basic mode to advanced mode. Okay, I already done it, so I'm able to create a history here. Then you have to make settings just on the PLC. So the first settings you have to create it's here in the Merbon DB parameters. And you have to add the address of the database. Then this is the address of the Merbon database adapter. And this is the folder for your history. Sorry. Okay, this is a user in the database that you will have to use, and the communication period. So this is the basic settings here in the IDE. Okay, so now I will install the services. So I just go here to database. The licensing with database is same, but you just have to visit a different page. So the page is licenses rcware.eu/new, and here you just choose your HV description file. Okay, you just click next, email, and everything again. It's the same as it was in the previous part. Okay, Alarm server and SCADA server, it's still the same. Okay, so I will skip this part and I will just select the downloaded license. It's here, and I will also install the adapter. Okay, so the installation is done. I can check here that the port 9876, it's occupied by a Merbon database, and the port 8686 for the adapter is occupied also. So here, this is why I put the port 8686, not the port of the database, but the port of the adapter here, because when you are directly sending data from the PLC to the database, you need the database adapter to translate the data and save it inside the database. Okay, so this is a name and the password for user. This name and password have to be created inside the database. So you can approach the database from this port. Okay, this is a web for database. So it's localhost /41 4 times 1 then 2 /admin. Go here, RV, its password, and you're here. You have only one user here. This is a default user. It's created by installation, but you can create your own user in case you want to save from multiple PLCs. You want to make sure that data will be read from multiple users. You can create more users here and use them from your PLC. Okay, so here I will just add this user. I will use this user, and this port where the database adapter is running. We can see the adapter here in IIS. Okay, and you can see here it's running on the port 8686. Okay, so you use these settings, and then you have to create which data should be saved. So just choose the data. I already done it, but I, for example, choose this one. Okay. To history. Go back, and I will have these two variables saved in my history. Okay, here in this option, here I have a save period, and I have false history saved on PLC because I don't want to save the history on PLC. In case you made any changes here in the Merbon DB parameters, you have to upload the configuration to the PLC. Okay, so you have to go to here and upload the configuration. Now it should be in the configuration, and you also, and this goes with the project, so have to deploy the solution. Okay, looks good, fine. So now it should run with the new settings. I can see it here. Okay, yes. Settings are there. And now it's running with the new settings. Okay, so this is how to do it from the PLC. We don't have to do anything more. And here in the administration, you should be able to see the history. But this is history from the SCADA. So how to do it from SCADA? If you want to save the history from SCADA, you just open the project, and you have to do it for every data point. Okay, in the data point settings. So when I click on some data point, I can check this option, long time SQL database, and now it means it will save me history to the database. So this is just for the data point, and then you have to create also, as it was the alarm server settings, so there is also a database setting for whole RCWare installation. You can see them here, and here you can save data to selected server. Okay, here you have to read the address, and now you are not, because it's SCADA with saving, so you don't have to write the address of the adapter, but you just put here the address of the database itself. Okay. Here you have to go with the login name and the password from the database. And here you can save for all the and these times you can set them to default very easily. Okay, and then you can use parameters, and now the history will be saved in the database. So now you just save it, export it, and it's part of the configuration, so you have to make sure you copy whole project. I hope the network is now working better, because YouTube is now not showing me any errors anymore, so I hope the problem is fixed. Because the first hour there are some errors, so maybe if you experience some problems with stream, it was the problems with network here in our office. Okay, just put it here, run it. We will see. Okay, there is some history. And there is also one very important thing for SCADA saving. SCADA history, because this is how you make to save the data, okay? But if you want to read them, to show them in graph, here, so now it's only, now it's set to default state, which is file history. This is set during the installation of SCADA server. There is an option if you want to see in the client, if you want to see either history from database or the file history. Right now it's set to file history. So in case there is some history here, maybe, okay, I'll just check. Okay, so these are a long time history. So I should be able to see, for example, the alarm point here in the history. So I'll just check. Yeah, and I see the history, but this is a file history. This is not from the database. So if I want to switch the history to database, I just go here. Okay, so the installation of SCADA, apps, Merbon, web client, SCADA web, and this config file. I just open it in Notepad++. It's better to see the code, and I'll just change the setting here because when it this is also mentioned in manual, so don't worry. This means when there is this line, it means that now it's the file history shown. In case I want to switch to database, I'll just add here a comment. So this line is not affecting now. And right now it's there will be history from the database. This ID, it's ID for file history. In case I comment this line, it will take the settings from the server, and in the server there is priority on the database, so it will show me the data from the database. Okay, so you just change it, save it, and now it's working. So just click Ctrl F, function key 5, and now I think I will be able, okay, I won't be able to see anything here because history is not saving for this, for these, but there should be some history in the moment. Okay, so this is for the this. So maybe there is some history here. No. Okay, but the settings are correct here. So you just have to check. And now it's not the history from file, but from the database. Okay. Don't worry. All the parameters that you have to fill are in our implementation guide. So in case you don't know, you just go here, go to the database. Okay, you see the settings here. Okay, I forget this part. This is why that are not saved. Okay, so RCWare DB access. Okay, so sorry for this. I just forget this part. Okay, I'll just check if it's right. Yeah, so sorry for that. I just forget this part. This is why data are not saved. So just export it once more. I just copy the projects. Delete them from the main file here. I just stop the SCADA server. Okay, just delete it once more. Copy it and run the server again. Okay, now it should work. In case I didn't change any other settings, but I think I'm okay now. Okay, it looks fine. It looks fine now. Okay, so I'll just check the database, so I don't need this anymore. I just need, we will see if the right history will appear. Okay, but now I think I should be able to see data from the database, if there are any. Okay, there are not any anymore. And the cycle is, okay, period is 1 minute. So this should be fine. Oh, I see. Okay, but the settings should be fine now. So it should save me some values here. So there are two ways how to do it, from the PLC and from the project part. They both have its advantages or disadvantages. Okay, you can see here you can see the saving of the data. Okay, I'll just check it once more. If I write it correctly. Okay, and I maybe have to, I have to restart the RCWare. Yeah, this is the problem, because I didn't restart it to RCWare. So the settings is not in the configuration file, I believe. We can check it here. Okay. I'm sorry for this. Okay, I'll go to my okay. I just need oh, sorry, I need to close all the okay, now it should be fine. Okay, so just a moment. Okay, much better, much better. So I'll just check. Okay, and I can see the problem here because I didn't write a double S. So sorry for this. I just save it. Now it should be fine. So restart the SCADA. Okay, now I can fix it in the RCWare also. Okay, so I fix it here. My bad. And you can see that history is saving now for our selected points also. So now I think I should be able to see some history. You see, not for this variable, but for this I should be able to see something. Okay, so okay, but now there's no error, this is just no data. So there are no data yet, but it depends on our configuration here. I believe we do it 10 minutes. Okay, so it's 10 minutes period. So in 10 minutes there should be some history. But it's working now. Okay, so sorry for the problems. I just missed one S in access. That was the problem. And now it's working fine. You can see. The new data points are showing here, are saved. These three are from the previous stream, the check one, and now I'm trying to see. Okay, now yeah, you see this is and I have 1 point here. Okay, fine. So now I am able to see the data from the database, but it's 10 minutes. It's not very long. I choose the interval 10 minutes. I'm sorry for that. So we are not able to see this very quickly. I will just try to. Okay, I will change it to 1 minute. I believe it's a global setting. Yeah, it's global. So I'll just do it once more, just to see some history. Okay. I'll just be sure I will choose these two. I'll just put them once more. Upload the changes. And let me see. Let me see. Okay, I changed the period, so we have to wait a bit. So in that time, I think this is all for this training. I think I ran through these settings, all the advanced settings that I wanted to. Sorry about the messaging, but yesterday I did some. I have to try because of one customer has some problems, so I tried to make a lot of changes in the messaging service, and maybe something I didn't correctly delete it yesterday after I finished, and maybe some bad settings stays in my current installation. But the settings should be right. You can check it on my check training that the settings there was the same, but the alarm and the email was working fine. So I'm not sure about the problem here. It shouldn't be a problem for you. If you follow the settings, if you follow the guide that I showed you today, and it should work for your messaging. Okay, you can see here that the history is saving in the interval of 1 minute, so we can see some points already. And now this is history from the database. So this history is from the database. Okay, so now it's working here. Okay, fine. So thanks you for your attendance. Sorry for problems that I had during the stream. And I hope that you will use this for your own installation, that you will continue to work with us. And in case of any problems or troubles, just do not hesitate to contact us on our technical support or email or phone. I just show it to you once more. Okay, technical support, the number and the email. If you have any problems, you can check the videos on our YouTube channel also. Our previous streams, if you missed them. Don't worry, this stream will be also included in our history, so you will able to see it again if you miss something. And this is all for me. Thank you again, and I hope I will see you sometime in future on our personal training, YouTube training, or on the technical support line. So thanks you a lot, and have a nice day. Bye.